Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Leslie, and today we are doing just a very chill budget with me video, taking a look at my expenses from August and my upcoming expenses for September. Things were a little weird in August, definitely some unexpected things popped up, and it was a pretty big spending month, so I definitely have a lot of expenses to talk about and things to plan for September. So grab yourself some tea, a snack, do some chores, and just throw this on in the background, or do your own budget as I do mine, and let's get into it. Today has been so crazy, so if I look a little disheveled, that's why. We actually just got back from swim lessons, and I don't know what it is about sitting by the pool. It just makes me so tired. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and just get this video together. So I have my expenses here in front of me, and I will link the budget tracker that I use below if you're interested in that as well. It's just one I found on Etsy. I like using a spreadsheet, so it's just really easy for me. And hopefully you get some ideas for categories you can use in your own budget, or maybe just a general idea of how to budget. I've been using this system for about 2 years and it seems to work really well for me, but it's still a work in progress. There are definitely times where I would like to adjust categories. So at the end of every year, I do look and see if my expense categories are fitting in with my lifestyle basically, and just adjust as needed. I can already see some things that I'll have to change for next year. But for now, we'll just get into what I have already. So for example, with groceries, my grocery expenses were $6.50. I had only budgeted $5.50, which is pretty low. I've actually been doing really good on groceries. So that extra 100 just came from things like protein bars. I think that was a big one, the protein bars that I had to restock because I normally do buy them in bulk. I'm not sure other things. I think there were just more things I needed that I would normally keep in my freezer or whatever. So it was a little bit more, but $6.50 is still so awesome for groceries. And that is groceries as in food only. The next category is paper goods and cleaning. So for that one, I also went a little over. I budgeted $73 and I ended up spending $103. But the thing that I forgot to budget for was dishwasher tabs. So the little dishwasher tablets you use for cleaning, I buy those in bulk and it's usually about $25. So that's what took me over for this month. Gas was a weird one. So one thing about this month also is where I had my car accident previously, all of my car accident expenses showed up in August. So I had my car repair, the deductible from my insurance, I had my rental car fee. Both of those should be recovered, but I also had an extra gas expense because I had to refill my rental car when I turned it in. So I probably should put gas under car maintenance with the other costs. But I just put it under the gas category because that's not going to be recovered. That's one that I have to pay for. So yeah, so gas was more expensive than usual because I had 2 fill-ups one for each car. But I budgeted for it, so I only went over by like $1. My preschool expense was way low, which I'm not sure why, because she did go to preschool for the entire month of August. So I think what happened was I had an extra payment at the end of July, maybe? I might have to look into that because I don't know if I just missed something on my bank statement when I was doing my budget, but that's weird that it's that low. But anyway, so I budgeted $1,400 and then I had $777. That is 3 weeks. So if anything, I'm only missing like 2 weeks or a week and a half. Personal care and toiletries, I always seem to go over on this. I don't know why. I must just spend more on that than I realize. So I went over by $30. Over-the-counter meds and vitamins, I did great. I was actually under on that, even though we had to buy some things. So I had to restock my magnesium and vitamin D, and then my daughter, just her multivitamin, I had to restock that as well. And by the way, it took me a while to find a kid's multivitamin that was a chewable, like not a gummy, and did not have artificial dye in it. So if you want one, I'll post the picture here of the one I use, and she loves it. And I've had them as well, and they're really tasty. So sometimes I have these as well. But I was surprised at how hard it was to find a multivitamin with those requirements. So daughter's wants, this is kind of a weird one because I wasn't planning on buying her anything as far as wants for this month. But I got her swim lessons and I wasn't quite sure whether to put that under wants or needs. So that was $200 for 5 private lessons. But it's not exactly a want or a need because it's not like a necessity that she has to have. But I think learning how to swim is such a valuable skill, especially for kids, that's something that she really needs to know. But I did just put it under wants. I also thought about putting it under my gym expense because it is swimming lessons at my gym. So yeah, I kind of struggled with where to put that. If you have an opinion, please let me know in the comments because this is one I went back and forth on for a while. Just talking about it now, I'm almost leaning towards moving it to the gym expense, but I don't know. I usually keep my daughter's expenses separate from mine and my husband's. But yeah, so that's where I put it, and that's why it's over so much. And then the extra $13 was bath toys. Her bath toys that she had, they were the kinds with the little holes in them, and they got so moldy and disgusting. I had to throw them out. I hate when they put the holes in the bath toys, but I did find some that don't have holes in them, so they're not going to get moldy, hopefully. If you have kids and you're curious, I will actually throw up a picture as well because I'm so excited that I found them, and they were pretty cheap too. So daughter's needs, this was back to school month. So I knew her needs would be a pretty hefty amount, but I still was a little bit off on what I calculated for her needs because I did estimate 140. I spent 170. I don't think she had any needs outside of school related stuff. So like her uniform, pants, and back to school stuff. But I also feel like I didn't spend quite that much on back to school because I think her pants were like 70. You know what? I don't even remember, but that's what I spent on her needs for the month. And if I put it under needs, it's because she really does need it. Oh, I bought her some socks for sure. Yeah, I don't know. If it's under needs, it's something that she has to have. So, I mean, I don't usually stick to a strict budget for needs because it's stuff that she needs. So medical expenses, that was just my health insurance cost, nothing else. Gifts, there were no gifts. I did spend a little bit on clothes. I bought a new workout top and I spent a little bit on ThredUp. What did I buy? I can't even remember. I think it was work related stuff. Like a cardigan. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I was pretty much in budget, so I'm not too worried about clothes this month. I did spend actually a little bit at Macy's this month, but it's not going to hit my account until September, so that will be part of my September expenses. For hobbies, of course I went over on hobbies because I always do. Hobbies, I budgeted 30. I spent 123. So what I spent on hobbies was basically all garden related. I bought soil, I bought seeds, did I buy? No, just soil and seeds, I think, because it is the end of the season, but there are a few things I can still plant now that are good for cold weather, especially things like leafy greens and that sort of thing. I did buy some grow bags. So there are a few more things I'm trying to plant, and that's where a lot of that expense came from. And then I think like $15 or so of that was polyfill, like for like stuffing for plushies and stuff. I was all out. So yeah, but that was it for hobbies. Pets, I went a little bit over on pets because Pixel needed cat food and litter, so I went over a little bit. Entertainment. So this is actually an interesting one because I never have an entertainment expense, and I spent about $109 for August. But it's all for stuff that's going to happen in September. So we decided to go to the Ren Fair this year, and so we spent a little bit on money for clothes. I'm actually making my own skirt, but I did have to buy a bed sheet because the bed sheet that I had before was polyester, and I made a skirt from it. It's just way too hot because it's polyester. So I went ahead and bought one that was all cotton. So I'm going to make my own skirt. But there were a few things we needed. And then about half of that is because my husband and I are going to the movies next month. And it has been probably 15 years since either of us have been, but they're playing the Studio Ghibli movies every month. So we're going to go and see Howl's Moving Castle. So that will be fun. So yeah, since I never have an entertainment expense, I'm not worried about that at all. Home goods and decor. I was really hoping to not spend anything on home goods and decor because I am a big fall person, as you can see, like some of my fall stuff back here. So I really struggle to not buy fall things. So I was really trying to push myself to not buy anything fall related, but my fall candle that I had, the Yankee candle, what is it called? Just like the pumpkin, is it just pumpkin spice? I can't remember, but whatever that, like the most basic fall like Yankee candle out there, that's the one that I love, and I burn it every year. It always just makes me think of fall. And I had it in my sunroom all summer, and it only had a little bit left, but it melted and it was like all on the side of the jar, and I just couldn't use it anymore. So all I did was replace that one candle, and even though it was still an expense, at least it was somewhat justified because I was just replacing the one fall candle that I like. So I feel like that's okay. I don't know. I feel okay about it, but it kind of sucks that I was hoping to not spend anything, but I think that's pretty good to just buy the one thing. Childcare, I actually had zero childcare expenses outside of preschool. Business expenses, I had a very small business expense. I bought some new mock-ups for my Etsy shop for the listing photos, so it was only a few dollars. Salon was zero. Dining out, I actually spent twice as much as what I normally would, so I spent 30 instead of 15. I'm not entirely sure why. I did notice more 7-Eleven charges. Oh, you know what? I think whenever I took my daughter to swim lessons, we stopped by 7-Eleven a couple times. So I actually did have a couple more just like 7-Eleven stops than I normally do. So I think that's where all that came from. Car maintenance. So this was the big boy. Car maintenance was $1,500. So as I mentioned, I had my car repair deductible that was $750, and then I had the rental car expense, which was almost $800. So between the two of those, about $1,500. They should be recovering all of that from the other party, hopefully, because she was drunk, so it's pretty clear, and no one was in their car. Like, I wasn't in my car when it was hit. The other two cars that were hit were empty also. So it's pretty obvious the driver is the one at fault here. So you would think it would be pretty straightforward, but you just never know with stuff like that. There's so much red tape and paperwork and back and forth. So yeah, I have no idea how long that's going to take. It could take 1 month, it could take 3 months, it could take maybe, hopefully not 6 months, but yeah. So for now, I just took that out of savings, and I'm gonna pay back my savings account whenever I get that back. Vacation, I didn't spend anything. Electronics actually didn't spend anything either, so that's cool. Insurance and registration was nothing. Gym and house cleaner, it was actually $10 more. So now, that's weird. I wonder if my house cleaners went up a little bit. I'll have to look into that because that should be a fixed cost. That's kind of weird that it's $10 over. Work, I didn't spend anything on work. Miscellaneous is almost always Dollar Tree. So my daughter loves going to Dollar Tree. So sometimes we'll stop there like maybe once a month, if that. Because I know we did it last month, and that was my miscellaneous expense last month. So yeah, I had $12 of miscellaneous at Dollar Tree. And then laundry, I budget $20 usually every month, and I don't always spend it. A lot of times my husband gets the laundry money anyway, so I only spent $10 for laundry. And cell phone was zero because I pay 3 months at a time with Mint Mobile, and it's a really great deal. Like, I've been loving Mint. I just switched over to them a month ago, and they're awesome. Like, I highly recommend. So that's the main expense categories, but let's look at subscriptions. So I am not happy because my subscription cost is at $105 a month, and that's a lot for subscriptions. I have Hulu, HP Inc., Adobe Acrobat specifically for Etsy, Amazon Kids. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to check Amazon Kids because I thought I paid for the year. You know what? I don't think I should be getting charged for that. Oh wait, I'm so stupid. I didn't get charged for that. That was my fault for accidentally leaving that on there. I just forgot to clear that. out. So okay, Amazon Kids, I paid for the year, so I don't have that anymore. I have Audible, which I may pause Audible I can't decide, because with Audible, it's like I'm either all or nothing with Audible. Like I'm listening to several audiobooks in a month, or I'm listening to none at all. So sometimes it is nice to let some of my credits build up so that when I get to that point where I'm listening to everything all at once, I have those credits to use. But to be honest, like if you're a member, their sale prices tend to be so good that sometimes I just buy rather than use my credit. And then there's also Libby. Like I love Libby for free audiobooks. So that one I could probably get rid of if I was going to get rid of something. Storage, I pay $2.99 for some my Apple iCloud storage, and then I also do pay for Google storage, but I pay yearly for that. So that's only $3 to make sure I keep all of my stuff. So I don't mind that expense. Spotify is actually a childcare cost. So my sister-in-law, she does a lot for our daughter. So I just pay for her to have Spotify Premium. And it's only like $6 because she gets a student discount. So that one, I mean, I'm not going to get rid of that one. The next one would be Patreon, which is one that I go back and forth with Patreon. So I tend to listen to podcasts and stuff like all day at work because my job is it's not like, so I do supply chain management, and it's not all data entry, but there is a good chunk of data entry. So when I'm doing the like kind of boring data entry tasks, I always have to listen to something just to help keep me focused. So there's some YouTubers that I really like that post some really good content on Patreon. So I don't always subscribe, but I might go a couple of months, let them build up more content, and then I'll go back and subscribe. So that is one thing that I subscribe to at the moment, but that won't be forever. I'll probably let it go maybe for the next month or the one after. I'm not sure, but that is one I do get value out of because it's something to listen to. But if I had to get rid of it, I probably could. And the next one is Canva. So I do use Canva for my thumbnails. Canva does come in handy. It's so easy to, I do use a lot of the pro stuff with Canva, even beyond just doing like the background remover. Some of the images and stuff I use are for pro accounts. So I guess at least a couple of these are more like business. I know my YouTube stuff isn't business yet. I don't make any money from this channel at the moment. But it's that kind of thing where I don't know that I could really cancel it if I want to do what I'm doing. I don't know. How much is too much for subscriptions? How much do you pay? Because I don't know if 100 is a lot. Like maybe 100 per month is fairly reasonable, especially if some of it is business related. So then the next thing would be savings and retirement. So my savings this month is embarrassing because I had so many extra expenses. I saved a whopping $12 outside of withdrawing a ton from my savings for the car expenses. So I withdrew like everything for those car expenses, and I'm just trying to put more in there to build my savings back up until I get repaid. And then retirement, I did great on retirement. So I plan to hopefully save $600 a month. I actually saved $774 for retirement. So that was pretty cool. All right, so let's move into the projected expenses for September. And September is going to be a little weird. So I no longer have any kind of like preschool payment or anything like that. We are paying my husband's sister-in-law to watch our daughter instead of doing like a before and after school care. So there is an expense for that, but I think my husband is going to take over for now. He did get a better job a couple months ago, so he does have a little more income now. So I think he's going to keep that. And then all the money I would normally put towards preschool is going to go towards my student loans. So I'll have to double check the number, but I think it's $38,000 in student loans. So I do have a good chunk of money to pay on my student loans. So I do want to just go really hard with paying on the loans. So that's going to be a difference in expenses moving forward, that I won't have the preschool one, but I will have a student loan payment I'm going to be doing. So to start out, groceries, I'm actually going to put $600 on groceries because I know for sure I'm going to have to buy protein powder soon, and that's probably going to be like $60-$70 for that tub of protein powder. So I know that's going to be a significant add-on. Let's see, paper goods. I did buy a whole bunch of bulk stuff already. We go through toilet paper so fast. It's obnoxious. I actually think my daughter just uses way too much. We're trying to get her to like use a small amount of toilet paper, but I think she's part of the problem when it comes to that. So it's always possible I would need to buy more toilet paper. I really hope not, because that would be such a big expense. We got to work on that with her. But you know what? I'm just gonna put $20 because I don't know. I just have no idea what I would need. So we'll put a little buffer there. Gas, I would probably only need one time. So I'm going to put 45. Preschool is $0. I was so excited to put $0 for preschool. I am going to leave it on here though, because when I tally up my totals at the end of the year, I want to make sure all of the categories are in the right spot. So it'll just tally $0 for these last few months. Personal care and toiletries, like I said, I always go over on that. I know I need some I think I might need dry shampoo. I'm gonna put 35. I think some of my products are just more expensive than I realize. So I'll just leave that at 35. Meds and vitamins, I think we're pretty good. I'm gonna put 25 just in case we need like allergy meds or, sorry, whenever I add change these prices, I don't know how to type. So daughters wants should be really low because I know my husband and his sister have been taking care of some of that recently, and she really doesn't need that much. It's more to just help entertain her after school, or if his sister has to watch her all day. It's such a long day to try to entertain her, so we usually give her a little extra money to like go to Target or Dollar Tree to buy something. So I'm just gonna put 0 for now. Daughter's needs, it's still the beginning of the school year, so I'm oh, you know what I'm gonna need for sure is lunch money. She does have a lunch money expense now. I'm not sure where to put a lunch expense. I think I'll just leave that under daughter's needs. That makes sense. Does that make sense? I need a lot of your opinions today. So if you have a minute, just let me know your thoughts because I'm curious. I love having some feedback on this because, like I said, this is still a learn as I go thing, even though I've been doing it for 2 years. But so I just put $50 in her lunch account, and then she may need some other stuff. So I'm going to put 75. I don't know. She might need some more socks actually. You know what? Let me just put 80. I'll do 80. Medical expenses, I don't anticipate anything outside of insurance, so I'll just leave that. Gifts, no gifts coming up. Clothes, I already know I have a clothing expense. I'm actually going to put $200 because I did buy some stuff at Macy's already and it's going to hit my account for September. But I bought some winter clothes for work, and actually it's some stuff that I wear for both work and just normal every day. So it's stuff that's really useful to me. So it was definitely a good buy in my opinion. But yeah, I just went ahead and bought it instead of waiting until closer to cold weather. Honestly, with like all the tariffs and stuff, I wasn't sure if the prices were going to go up more. So I was like, I might as well just go ahead and buy this now. Hobbies, I'm just gonna leave hobbies at 30 in case I need anything. Pets, I just bought Pixel's food, so it shouldn't be much. The most she would have is maybe some litter, so I'm gonna put $15. Occasionally we do buy her little toys and stuff, but a lot of times it's from Dollar Tree, so it just goes into miscellaneous. Entertainment, I'm sure I will have more entertainment costs because like I said, we're doing the Ren Fair and then going to the movies. So there may be more entertainment cost involved with that. I'm gonna put, because honestly this is probably where my husband is gonna pay for some things anyway. So I'm gonna put $50. That seems fair because like I'm sure he's gonna pay for like popcorn or something at the movies, and yeah. It is kind of weird that we still have our expenses split now that we're married. We've thought about combining them, but honestly, like we're so open with our money with each other that it almost doesn't seem entirely necessary to combine them because we kind of just naturally go back and forth with paying for things and everything sort of evens out. So I don't know. It doesn't seem that like super necessary to combine things. I I don't know. And I'm very like meticulous with tracking things. Like I want to see everything, and he's more like, it all evens out. So even though we are both very frugal, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this makes it easier for me, I guess. But anyway, home goods and decor. I'm still trying not to spend anything on that. It's hard to foresee anything there. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, one thing I was hoping to do, at least for maybe starting next year, is to have a certain amount of like discretionary spending. So instead of making individual budgets for like decor, home goods, I guess clothes, maybe, hobbies, the entertainment, like these kind of extra things that aren't needs. I was kind of thinking of having just like a general dollar amount each month that could cover any of those things. Because I think that's what a lot of people do. They have just a discretionary spending category. And now that I sort of know the flow of how I spend my money on those things, I don't know if it's quite as essential to break them up anymore. Because I used to do it because I wanted to know each little category and what I spent in it. So yeah, I may do that next year. That's something I'm really thinking about. But for now, I'm just going to leave home goods and decor at 0 and see if we can keep it there. Childcare, I think my husband is still taking over childcare stuff, so I'm going to leave that at 0 for now, but it's possible I might have something there. Business expenses, I sort of need more macrame cord and maybe some of the gold hoops that I use. I'm going to budget for it just in case. I'll put $35, but sorry, I hear my family running around out here, so I'm sorry if you hear them. If you see me filming in this room, it's usually because my family is home. And sometimes it's just nice to just chill here. So, okay, salon is a weird one because September, my birthday's at the end of the month. I'm getting a couple of small bonuses at work this month. So I'm thinking about actually going to the salon and getting my hair cut and maybe my highlights done, and then having my husband pay for all of it, most of it, some of it, I don't know. Maybe having him help me pay for it so it would lower the cost for me. So there is a chance I'll have a salon expense in September or October. So that's something that will be coming up. I'm going to go ahead and budget for it. I'm going to put $150 just to have something there. Dining out, I'm actually going to move that up to $20 because we do sometimes have an extra 7-Eleven stop like I mentioned. Car maintenance, I shouldn't have any other car expenses at the moment. Fingers crossed. Oh my god, I really hope I don't. Vacation, 0. Electronics, I leave at 20. Insurance and registrations, I'll keep at 0. Oh, actually, I do have a car insurance payment coming up soon. I'm pretty sure it's October, though. I know it's due like October 7th, so I'm pretty sure it hits the first week of October. So I'm just going to leave that blank for now. Gym and house cleaner, I'm going to look into why I had an extra $10 charge, but I'm just going to leave it at the same price. I mean, $10 is not that big of a difference anyway, so it's fine. Work, I don't think I'd have any work expenses coming up, although I do kind of need a new mouse pad. Mine is getting all like warped, like my wrist pad. So that's a possibility, but I don't think so. Miscellaneous, I leave at 20. Laundry, I leave at 20. Cell phone, I think I still have 1 more month on my current cell phone plan, since I do 3 months at a time. I don't think that's going to hit till October. So all of that, so that is my main expense categories. But like I said, I need to start paying on my student loans. So I want to make a goal, because I'm kind of torn between how I'm going to be doing student loans versus savings, because I was hoping to get to $10,000 in my savings account, then start on the student loans. But with the car stuff, I was right at $10,000, like just under it. I think I had like 9,600. Like I was just a few hundred short of 10,000 when that car accident hit. Like, it was so frustrating. So I was so close to that mark, but I've got to start knocking out these loans. Like, it's not like I can just keep going and not paying. So I'm going to still make that a priority. I don't know if I want to put anything at all in my savings. I'll probably do the $20 a week for sure that I'm already doing, but on top of that, I don't know if I'm going to. But without that preschool payment, that was like a 1,000 to like a good 1,200 average per month. So that's like $1,200 that I should be able to work with. But I'm gonna put my expected student loan payment per month, I'm gonna put it at $800 and see if I can do that. And then for my projected savings, I'm gonna leave retirement the same at $600. My projected savings right now, it's $500. I do not do that much. I'm gonna put projected savings at $200 a month, just so I can keep putting something in there. But again, like, September is just going to be such a strange month because there's a lot of trial and error, and I just really need to see what this month looks like with all these different changes that came up. So anyway, let me know how things are going for you. I really hope you like this series because I really like doing it. So leave me a comment, like, subscribe, all of those things. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.